Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel, coming back at you. Another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, sampler platter video series reviews I've been doing for a little while now. Go over there, try out food and drink items. The stuff I drink stuff, then I talk about the stuff, folks. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious crap that at the time I'm doing this, I'm hanging out in the truck. Why am I hanging out in the truck? Well, folks, you watch these videos for a while, then I was probably on my way to a place and I found a thing to review. And that's the case today. I was on my way home from work. I had a night. And when I have a night at work, I'm going to go get myself a treat just to calm myself down. And today was definitely no exception. So, stopped off at a place. They had a new thing. What's the new thing? Boom! What the fuck is this? Side being, kind of pretty. Look, there's sprinkles and whipped cream and such. This, folks, is a large iced cake batter signature latte from Dunkin. Now, folks, if you watch my stuff, you know, hey, I've done plenty of reviews for Dunkin items. People typically seem to respond pretty well to those. I don't know if maybe I've found a niche. Maybe there's not a lot of people reviewing Dunkin stuff. I don't know. But people seem to enjoy them, and I like going to Dunkin anyway. Like I said, I'm not somebody who typically likes to drink, so that's not a good, means of blowing off steam for me. So I go this route. And I guess, it's listed as a new item, but I checked their website and it's like, oh, it's back. So I guess it's making a round again. I've certainly never had it before. I figured, why the hell not? It's colorful and it'll probably taste good. And hopefully it'll go over there and kind of knock away some of the stress and nonsense of the night. So let's try a thing. Only thing was, they didn't give me a straw. This is one of my backup straws. It had paper on it. Okay, I'm not weird. I just keep a few straws because I've been screwed over a few too many times. But this straw is not quite long enough. That's not bad. For me personally, although I do enjoy going to Dunkin Donuts, I'm not a huge coffee guy. I like coffee-related things, but I'm going to need you to go over there and, tone down the coffeeness of it. I'm not, just straight coffee, not usually my thing. So whenever I go grab something, my hope is that it will fall under that, that mantle of coffee-related, but not super coffee-ish. And this definitely is the case. There's still a nice coffee aspect to it. Still, has that sort of latte flavor, but it's also got a lot of other stuff going on. It's a very sweet drink, but it does still have, a tinge of bitterness from the coffee. It's very smooth, which is nice. And now the only thing is, I'm not really getting a lot in the way of like cake batter taste. I'm trying to mix in all the doings and such. See if that enhances the flavor, or I don't know. Plus, if I don't do that, then it'll just sit on the ice until I drink the end of it, and then I have to go over there and kind of drink it through the ice, and it's weird, and I'm not a big fan. So we're gonna just mix it all the hell in. See how that goes. Let's give it another shot. Sprinkle. Well, it has changed the flavor. Basically by doing that, it more or less eliminated the coffee tinge. There's really no more bitterness left, which is both good and bad, because I don't mind it being coffee adjacent. That's fine. It can act as a nice counterpoint to the sweetness. I just don't want to be too bitter. Now, it's not sickeningly sweet or anything, but I am kind of missing that, tinge of bitterness. I feel like doing that made it taste more two-dimensional. It's very a thing and then it's kind of gone. And every now and again, a sprinkle comes up through the straw, which is a little bit jarring if you're not expecting it. Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I mean, what with it being called a cake batter, signature latte, I was definitely expecting like a much more savory aspect, like a buttery kind of taste to it. And I don't know that I'm really getting that. Maybe a hint, but definitely nowhere near as much as, like, I'm really having to search for it. And it's one of those things where, like, my brain might just be tricking, my mouth into tasting it because that's what I want to taste. So, because if it's there, it's definitely not very prominent. And that's a shame because I think that, this is basically kind of like a borderline dessert. Just lean into it if that's the case, just really go with it. Yeah. I mean, there's something there. I'm definitely not completely delusional. But it's not at all what I would expect from, like, a proper, like, it's not what I would expect from something that's labeled as being, cake batter. I would expect something that tastes more like cake batter. Again, something more savory, something that's got, like, a very full flavor. With this, I mean, there, like I said, there's something there, but I think with the sweetness of it, and then, with that combined with the coffee aspect, I just don't really feel like whatever flavoring they're using for, like, the cake batter stuff, to me just isn't coming through very prominently. Like, if you were just to tell me that this was a normal iced latte with, some, cream and sugar and stuff like that, I'd probably more or less just go with you. I don't really... Yeah, I want more from it. I really do. And like I said, going over there and mixing it all together, it just made it made it less interesting, really. It's still okay for what it is, but honestly, yeah, it's, especially, with them referring to it as a signature latte, I really think they could have done better with this one. Now to be fair, your experience might vary, depending on, what establishment you go to, how they decide to prepare it. I've certainly had vast differences in how one Dunkin Donuts has prepared a given item versus another one. But I can only go off of what I have in front of me. And for me, it's very okay. I don't really find it to be particularly special or signature, esque. It's just kind of an okay sort of dessert, sort of coffee drink. It's fine. It's not like overly sweet or anything, but again, if you do like I did, where you mixed in the stuff, it loses a level of dimension to it, and it just kind of becomes very eh. So, not bad, but I wouldn't personally recommend it. Like, I think that there's way better items on their menu right now that I think are, much more standout. Like, any of the refreshers, I personally, if you're not going in for, like, a coffee, which, I mean, how many people is that realistically, but the Dunkin' refreshers, I've enjoyed all those. If you want something that is kind of coffee-ish, the Tiger Milk Bubble Tea, I did a review of that not too long ago. Absolutely check that out. That is something that is really neat, really special. It's weird, but it's totally worth it. With this, yeah, it's very okay. I don't think that if you try it, you'll hate it, but I think if you're like me and you're kind of expecting something more, something to really make it stand out, that's something, at least in mine, simply wasn't there. So, anyway, folks, that's going to do it for this particular review. I've got another one coming up. I've always got other ones coming up. I actually have, at the time I'm doing this, I have backlogged over 2 weeks worth of reviews if I release a review every single day. But this one's done. 5 things before I get out of here, folks. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year. If you could go over there and have yourselves a truly actual signature rest of your life, okay? Like, something that's really going to go over there and make you stand out in a good way. Okay, let's try to keep it in a good and positive light. But, once you find that thing, just go over there and just roll with it and, let that kind of guide you what you do. Or something like that. I don't know. I'm yammering. Final 2 things, folks. Number 1, try to bring some positivity in the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do it all the time? I know I can't do it all the time, folks. Here's what you do. You try not to be an asshole. Okay, it's tough, folks. Okay, like I said, I had a night at work. Okay, and more than once I wanted to go off and be an asshole about stuff. And I'd have been justified. At least to a certain extent. I don't think too many people would have been able to go over there and, come down on me for if I went off on somebody. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try not to anyway. Because I don't want to go over there and make the situation worse. I want to try to mitigate the level of assholishness in my life. It's good for me. It's good for the people around me. Makes the world hopefully a little bit better place. Very final thing, folks. Do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Maybe you're going to go over there, folks. Maybe you're going to try the Dunkin signature latte. And maybe it'll be amazing for you. Maybe it'll taste like the best birthday cake you've ever had in liquid form. Then you go over there and you go to Dunkin', you're like, look, we're going to go over there, we're going to put this birthday cake industry out of business. Because we're over here and we got this super birthday drink, and that's what we're going to do. And, you start doing it, you campaigning, you do all the stuff and everything, you start making the millions, folks. Ain't no 2 ways about it. But then you go over there, you see the little mom and pop bakeries starting to shut down and stuff. You start feeling guilty. It becomes a whole, Christmassy kind of miracle thing. There might be some mystical aspects involved. You feel bad about you go over there, you decide you're going to shut it all down, you're going to refocus the efforts, do all the stuff, and something, there's a bank closing involved, and a little kid gets to have an operation, and you beat back the gremlins. Yay, Christmas. Bye.